is almost feeling normal. It's going to be really sad when I have to start pedaling again. This phone is getting tired. I just wanted to get a shot of this. I'm not sure which ones are which now, but these are some of the famous mountains. We're in the Pacific Ring of Fire, so these are all volcanic at one time or another. Okay, we'll get this right. I forgot these were out here. From over there, I'm like, okay, the turnout said mountain identifier ahead. And then I'm like, where is it? It's on the ground here. All right, so if we stand in the middle. Yeah, okay, so we would stand in the middle and we look in that direction. No, I can't read the labels. So there's one there. It's kind of in the haze. Okay, now I gotta stand closer. Mount Rainier and Mount Adams are... Oh, okay, Rainier is behind Mount Adams. So if you see a little bit, okay, that's Mount Adams in the foreground. Behind it is Mount Rainier. Rainier is 14,470 feet, and Adams is 12,307 feet. And then we come over to here. Mount St Helens is in this direction. Yeah, just visible. I don't know if it's going to even show up on the camera. It's a little bit hazy there. Elevation before was 9,677 before the eruption, and elevation after is 8,500, it looks like. Okay. And then this is Mount Hood. Is 11,200 or 11,000, let's say 11,200. And we come all the way across to here. There's Mount Jefferson. And then this one is Three Fingers, or Three Finger Jack. And Mount Washington, Three Sisters, and Broken Top. And that's all I got. Oh, and the phone's about to go dead again. So if I can unzoom it. Here's all the labels, which don't really show up, and then there's my chicken legs in the middle of it. And then I'll run back and plug the phone in again. Yeah, that's kind of handy. Sit here and look all the way around. Cool. I forgot that sign was coming up. I couldn't have got a shot of it anyway. I got a truck right on my butt. Anyway, there's a sign that says 45th parallel that we just passed about a minute ago. That is half the distance between the equator and the North Pole. It's kind of significant or irrelevant or however you look at it, but since I have crossed the equator and I've been to the Arctic Circle, I have not yet been to either of the poles. This is halfway between. Kind of cool. And that's all I got. Just another beautiful day out here. I'm still wearing my sweatshirt, but I probably could take it off next time I stop. And we are 58 miles from the Washington border. Be there about, let's see, it's almost 7 now, so we'll be there by 8. And from there, it's about 3 or 4 hours to my dad's house. Yeah, okay, there we go. This is a rare time in that most of these are not spinning. Some of them are, so two things. The wind isn't very strong right now. And they're probably throttling because it's early morning. I'll hear people say that a lot. They're like, oh, these stupid windmills aren't even working. It's like, well, you don't understand how the grid works. If there's no demand, you don't want the thing spinning. You can't put power into the grid if it's not getting used. That's a cool shot. One of the mountains in the background. So yeah, they might all be just throttled off because a couple of them are starting to turn. I don't see any that I can drive right up to really close, but if you ever see these, like, because they're doing a bunch of these in Texas now, which makes sense. The truck that hauls a single blade is bigger than a logging truck. And it dwarfs a regular 53-foot semi-trailer by quite a bit. I think these are 80 or 100-foot blades each. Yeah, it's huge. Okay, that one's going. Yeah, some people think they're an eyesore. I think they're the coolest thing ever, honestly. Okay, there's a good perspective of one. That one's just ginormous. Yeah, unless you're right next to it, you don't have any sense of perspective of how big they really are. I saw a sign one time, the blades are bigger than 747 wings, and I think these are even bigger than that now. So, pretty sure we're not supposed to drive in there. Alright, I just wanted to get a shot of that early in the morning. They look so cool. I had cell phone signal, so I figured I'd stop and clear some of my Facebook comments and stuff, and in the time it took to do that, this whole row started spinning again. So there's definitely sections that are and sections that are not. I gotta think that's more because they're being controlled, not because the wind isn't blowing on them. So when the grid says we need power, they can just flip a switch and these things come on. Pretty cool. Otherwise it would just be spinning and causing wear, not, you know, if you don't need the power, why let it spin? So they just turn them on, turn them off. Science. I don't know, I think they're beautiful. Let's see if we can do this without dying. This is the last mile or less now of Oregon. That would be the ultimate irony. It seemed like for most of my life, every time I drove through Oregon, I'd get a speeding ticket. I wouldn't get them in Washington, I wouldn't get them in California, but in that 400 miles of Oregon, I'd always get caught. So let's not do that. I was thinking about getting a coffee here, but I think we're alright. Save that last dollar. 84, that's the one. I was trying to remember, there's a freeway that runs along the Columbia River on the Oregon side. That's 84. And then we are on 97 going north, and there's another highway that runs on the Washington side. It's not a full freeway though. So this is the Columbia River. This goes all the way out to the ocean. And all of these power, okay, we got the windmills, kind of ignore that for a minute. We also got all of the power lines running. There's massive transmission lines running through here. They have hydro dams all up and down the Columbia River for generating electricity. So, and then this is the Columbia Gorge. You hear about that sometimes. It's a pretty famous place for things like hang gliding and kite surfing, because they've got massive amounts of wind through here. So it's good. That's why the windmills are here. I mean, obviously, because you got windmills where the wind is, but the wind really blows through here. I don't know if that's going to show up or not. There's white water over there. That's got to be coming off of a dam. It might be spilling. It's interesting. Anyway, the mighty Columbia. Not quite the Mississippi, but a pretty serious river nonetheless. It starts in Canada, I think. Pretty sure. This was one of the hills I remember thinking would suck on the bicycle coming up. Coming down to the Columbia obviously was downhill, so that was nice. But from here to Wenatchee would be a lot of hills. Actually, a lot of the last hills anyway. So we'll enjoy the fact that we didn't have to drive on it. Alright, World War II Veterans Memorial Highway. We are now in Washington State, which I think is State 9 of the trip. Technically it doesn't count because I haven't rode a bicycle here yet, but we'll get to that shortly. Alright, camera down, back to driving.